The upper house is meant to be the house of review, but one WA MP has told Six News that there's been no review to speak of. Just over 450 days since the Western Australian state election saw Labor pick up a majority in both houses. Legalise Cannabis MP Brian Walker has told Six News the state has a semi-autocratic dictatorship, with government bills passing both houses with little to no resistance. The opposition was wiped out in the lower house, with only 2 Liberal MPs and 4 Nationals remaining after the election, but one of them has now resigned, triggering a by-election that could even see Labor expand its majority even further. It comes as a leaked WA Liberals report finds apparent widespread branch stacking and manipulation of pre-selections. Reporter Lincoln Holmes has the details.
It was an extraordinary election that will go down in WA history.
The Labor Party has made it very clear they want to use the Premier's popularity to take total control of the West Australian Parliament.
And they did, with Labor now having a majority in both houses, meaning government bills can be passed with little to no review from the opposition and crossbench. One of those on the crossbench is Legalise Cannabis MP Brian Walker. He says the upper house has failed as a house of review since the 2021 state election.
When we came into Parliament, we were absolutely clear there's an overwhelming majority of Labour Party in the House of Assembly and the Legislative Council. So there's no way we're going to get anything but what the Labour Party wants 100%. And in fact, as a House of Review, we've only had one amendment recognised, which means that, and that's a very minor amendment, I think a date change. So that means that every single law which has come forward in this last year has been 100% perfect. And that is just not the case, is it? It can't be the case. In practical terms, although there's a semblance of democracy, we do in fact have a semi-autocratic dictatorship in Western Australia. It's clothed in democracy, but there's actually no balance. So I think it's very much of concern. And what we're seeing now is the governmental hubris, which allows them to put forward things and disregard the views of other positions. I will speak in the chamber and I'll say things about cannabis, for example, in the use of cannabis in treating PTSD and how much better it is than the current medication. Half of the Labour Party members are going to agree with me, but they don't say so because they've agreed in caucus. And once they've agreed, there is no varying from that. They can't do that. So I may be speaking up for a sizable chunk of the Labour Party who have a voice but can't say it in open.
Tonight, the fallout from the election last year continues, with a leaked report from the Liberals revealing apparent widespread branch stacking and manipulation of pre-selections. According to the ABC, the review found there were 29 credit cards on the file that were funding more than 10 party memberships each. And with only 2 MPs left in the lower house, the party may be about to try something completely new, bringing on former cricket great Justin Langer as their new leader for the 2025 state election, in a move similar to what the LNP did in Queensland with Campbell Newman.
The Queensland opposition leader and his deputy both quit today, muttering something about treachery. Why? Well, Brisbane's Lord Mayor, Campbell Newman, whom we saw almost as much of as the politically resurrected Anna Bligh during the floods, has announced he's taking a tilt at state politics. Not just state politics, but state premier.
The WA opposition is now down another member, with Nationals MP Vince Catania quitting state politics, triggering a by-election in the seat of North West Central. He was originally elected as a Labor MP to the upper house before defecting to the Nationals. If Labor manages to win the seat, it will be another blow for the National Liberal Alliance. Lincoln Holmes, 6 News.